We next have Bobby, who is from Blue Marble, our sustainability consultant, who's been working on the Sustainability Support for Education Hub and an online climate action planning tool to tell you a bit more about another way of figuring out how on earth to create a climate action plan. So, Bobby, over to you.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Yes, so as Suzanne said, I've been working for the last year on the DfE Commission Sustainability Support for Education Hub, and I'm going to take you through how the hub works today and how you can use it in your schools or with any schools you're working with to help them kind of identify actions that they might want to take to kind of improve on their sustainability progress and their journey. And then second to that, I'm also part of something called the Net Zero Accelerator Pathfinder program. Bit of a mouthful, but essentially it's a cohort of 25 schools commissioned by Located, where we work as part of a consortium. So it's myself from an organisation called Blue Marble, Suzanne as part of the Let's Go Zero Climate Action Advisors team, and a number of other organisations. And we help those schools to deliver decarbonisation interventions and behaviour change programmes and set them up on with their climate action plans and so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you the climate action plan tool that we've created as part of that programme today. So first things first, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a little look at the Sustainability Support Hub. So for those that may or may not be familiar, this has been live now for probably since May, June last year. It has evolved over time. There have been kind of several iterations and it has improved based on user feedback. So we're at a really kind of good point in time now where we've used all that feedback to kind of curate the service. And so if you were to come to the site today, this is one of the ways that you can kind of start to identify actions that you'd want to potentially include in a climate action plan, whether you speak to the advisors or whether you wanted to do it by yourself. So there's two routes through the hub. One is by kind of taking a very structured approach through a sustainability journey, and there's essentially 4-5 levels that you can kind of work through. Again, highly structured, and you can kind of plot yourself on this journey as well. So you can kind of read the descriptions and decide whether maybe you need to start at the beginning or maybe actually you've already done a bit and you can start at the next step and so on and so forth. So that's kind of one route through the service. And then the second route through is just by topic. So if you're particularly interested as a school in the topic of biodiversity or perhaps energy or estates and buildings, anything like that, you can have a little route through and identify some actions that way as well. So I'm just going to take a look at the sustainability journey. Let's assume that I'm from a school and I don't think we've really done that much currently. I don't know whether we've got any kind of eco team or how much kind of work we've done in the sustainability space in our setting. So maybe I want to start out at the beginning of the sustainability journey. And what it's going to show me is it's going to show me groups of actions that I can take and what order I should be taking them in. So here's some different aims and they're just groups of actions. And I can start at the beginning, so I can click on get ready to start my sustainability journey. It's going to explain what this aim is and what the group of actions are. And it sets out each of these actions in an order that is recommended by sustainability experts in conjunction with one of the largest trusts in the UK, the United Learning Trust. So they've kind of curated these actions. And as part of that, they've also done lots and lots of research to identify the resources that will help you take that action. So if you click on any of the actions, you'll see a description of what that action means and the benefits of taking it. And then also any resources that will help you take that action. So for example, how to start a school green team. Or the 7 steps towards eco schools, one of which is creating your kind of sustainability group, your eco team, your green team. So that's one route through the service. You can do it that way. And then just to go backwards and take a look at the topics as well. Let's imagine that in another school, we're really interested in the topic of energy. I could just come onto the site and go and take a little look around and see what type of actions I'm being recommended and maybe decide which ones are of interest to me and which ones are appropriate to my setting. And in order to kind of make that more relevant to me, I can filter by my role. So I might be in business operations, I might be a sustainability lead, I might be in estates and site and so on and so forth. And you can filter by things like cost and time. So you've got little indicators on each of the actions, whether it's low cost or not, whether it's something that you might need to repeat or it's kind of like a one-off action. And then also things like select your setting type. So if you were kind of in early years or primary or secondary school, you could filter by that as well. So that's kind of like a little just view of the site in a nutshell. What's really useful is once you log in, once you've signed up, which is completely free, you're then able to go in and you're able to start saving actions to a list. So let's pretend we are going to try and do that now. I'm in a school, I've come to the site, I've signed up, and I need to find some actions that I want to talk to my school about and maybe start to put them into an action plan. I'll click on one of the aims that's in front of me to get started on my journey, and I can go to the star on each of the actions, and I can start to click on that and it will allow me to add it to a list. So for the purposes of the tool, you can see lots of different lists I've created before, but for now, for the demo, let's call this, I don't know, today's list. And I can go in and I can create that. And you'll see if I scroll down somewhere, this, where is it? There we go, today's list, and I can click done, and that has added that action to my new list. And then I can go through and I can add all of these actions as part of this group to my new list that I've just created, like so. So if I go through and add these, like that. And then once I've added any actions that I want, I can then view my list. I can either click on view list or I can click saved at the top, and that's going to show me any list I've created. So for instance, I might do it by topic. I might have one for biodiversity, one for climate adaptation, one for decarbonisation, or I might have just done it the way I've done it today, which is I've identified some that I like the look of and popped it in the same list. So I can see my list, and then the crucial thing is I can then download that list. So once I click download, that's going to save it to my downloads folder on my computer or my laptop, and then I can go and use the climate action plan tool that has been created as part of the NZAP program. So I'm going to switch now to the next tool, which is climateactionplan.org.uk, and like I said, this has been developed and is already being used by 25 schools as part of a Pathfinder program, but it is free and accessible to all, so if you wanted to go on and play around with it and use it today, you can do that. So when you go to the home screen, you'll have kind of a logged out view, and this is what it looks like. There's a little bit of information on, the importance of creating your climate action plan, some links through to Let's Go Zero as well, and sustainability support for education, and then very simply just click to get started. So once you click that button there, it's going to take you through to a view. You'll have a blank screen because you won't have all of these plans, but you'll see here, these are all the plans we've created with the advisors from Let's Go Zero as part of the NZAP project that we're working on. But from your perspective, you'll go onto here and you'll start to create your own settings. So your setting, let's pretend you're from a standalone setting, your school name, so that could be ABC School, and then also your setting postcode. We don't ask for any more information as a mandatory data point at this point. Everything else is optional. It's all aligned with the Let's Go Zero process as well. So if you wanted to just add your name and your postcode and come back and fill that in later, the other bits in later, you can, and your advisor can do that for you on your behalf as well. So there's no need to kind of add that to get started on your climate action plan build. Once you've created your plan, you can then use the list that you've created in the Sustainability Support Hub, and you can import it and it's going to automatically create your plan for you. So if I click that and then add a list that I created earlier today, I've chosen my file and I just click upload, and it's as easy as that. It's going to tell me that it's done. It's added 11 actions that were in my list, and then all I need to do is view action points, and this is my plan. So at this point, hopefully it feels a little bit familiar because it's set out in the structure of the DfE's 4 pillars of climate change and sustainability, as well as a nice 5th catch-all, which is for anything around sustainability and culture, that kind of whole ethos kind of component, and anything that doesn't sit neatly in the other pillars. So that's my list of actions that I've created. What you can then do is you can then start to add key information. So I'm going to show you a plan I prepared earlier in the interest of time. So if I click on this plan here, you will see that this is a plan that someone has created and they've started to add some little bits of key information. It's not fully complete yet, but it gives you a sense of what it might look like once you've started to add important kind of information to it. So if I click on any one of these actions, you'll see that here I can update the progress status. I can add any key stakeholder names. So let's pretend that Suzanne and I are working on this together. I could put my initials and Suzanne's initials, for example. I can add and change the time frame, the start date and end date where it's relevant. And then there's some other bits of information that's quite nice to capture as well. Again, completely optional. Things like how much effort it might require, things like how many resources or what types of resources you need, whether that's access to training or tools or systems or just knowledge, things like that. That's really helpful. And then there's also a bit of a cost indicator to help with prioritizing different actions, and then potential carbon savings. And this is where, if you're working with an advisor, they might be able to help you kind of identify a percentage potential carbon saving, whether that's in a range or even a specific value that can kind of come over time as well. And then finally, other bits and pieces, you can break down your plan into subtopics. So for example, decarbonisation, that's a huge topic. You could break that down into things like procurement and waste and water and so on, all that good stuff. And then finally, last two bits are things on KPIs and targets and measures, where you identify them, and then also a link to your school development plan. So that's all of the information that you can collect as part of kind of updating and then starting to manage and track in your plan. I'm going to show you now what a full plan looks like as part of the NZAP programme that we've been working on. So if I scroll down here, this is a plan from Plymouth Cast for St Mary's Catholic Primary School. So this is one we actually, the Let's Go Zero advisors have created with the school, and we've just imported it into the tool, much like I've just shown you, as a file, and it automatically populates like so. So this is their full plan, and these are all the data points that they've added against it. So you'll see there's lots of great actions in here, and it's all been kind of added to kind of start and end date. And what that means is once you've added those start and end dates, you get a really nice visual, a nice snapshot of where you are on your sustainability journey. So you don't have to kind of read through anything. You've got a nice visual and you can quickly and easily see what you need to focus on for the kind of the time being. So hopefully that's quite a nice kind of extra bit to have as well. Other things you can do, you can actually download the plan as a PDF. So what you see here, you can download it. If you click download, it's automatically going to go into your downloads folder, and you're going to get something that you can print off, and you can have that physical artifact. You can share it on notice boards or in meetings, you know, so on and so forth. And you're always going to have, you know, version control around it. You're going to be able to see when you've downloaded it, when you've printed it. So the live version always exists in the tool. You need to take snapshots in time as you're progressing and discussing it. Final bits and pieces before I stop talking. You can also get some additional guidance here. We've created a little self-help guide in conjunction with the Climate Ambassadors. So that's one of the other sisterhood of projects where you can get that one-to-one support. They've produced this little bit of guidance around what a climate action plan should consider and the importance of that whole setting approach. And then also the links through to the ambassadors for that one-to-one support, and also the Let's Go Zero climate advisors as well. Final thing then is that once you've done this, let's say that you go away and do this today, and then you have also requested a visit from an Let's Go Zero advisor, you can actually invite them to your plan. So you can say, oh, hello, you know, we've tried to create our own plan. We'd love your input and guidance on how to kind of make it more robust and build it out. So you can actually, you know, put your advisor's name in there. Let's pretend it's Suzanne. I could put Suzanne's email address in there. Send her an invite. Alternatively, I could share it with anyone in my school as well. So let's pretend that I'm the sustainability lead and I've gone away and done this. And actually, I want to talk to my catering manager about some of the food actions I've identified. I can share it by using the catering manager's email, or the estate sites manager or the ops manager, whoever it is that I want to kind of collaborate in the plan with, and they will get a secure email invite to kind of sign up and view the plan. A bit of a whistle-stop tour, but I'm going to stop talking now. I'm happy to take any questions.